What's up, guys? My name's Anthony, and today I want to give you 5 tips to manage your time better. Now, you can use these tips however you like, whether this will affect you in work, in school, if you're growing a business, if you're doing YouTube. Again, these tips should help you out throughout your day. And by no means am I a time management, guru on this, but these tips are something that I found very, very helpful and things I use every day to make sure that I'm as productive as I can be. Now, this first tip is going to be so crucial, and it is to write a to-do list and have a to-do list. This is so key and so crucial if you have a lot to do, if you're forgetting things, you wake up, it's like, okay, what am I supposed to do? And this will really help you out whether, you're working, full-time, let's say you're in school, or if you're doing YouTube and you're trying to do a lot of things, even things around the house that you're meant to do. Write a list, have this stuff out of your mind. I was reading a book, one of my favorite books is called The Organized Mind by Daniel Livingston, and one of these things that stood out to me in the book was, you have all these things in your mind and they'll just keep circling and circling and circling in your mind. So it's best to write them down and kind of get them out of your mind. You're almost kind of cleaning out, junk in a way, and you're kind of getting it more organized. So have a to-do list. I write a to-do list every day. Sometimes when I wake up and get to the office, I write it. Or if it's something I don't want to forget and have some awesome ideas, what I will do is I will write it down before I go to bed. And then I kind of have my to-do list already ready for things I need to do in the morning. And I tell you, this helps out so much. And once you start knocking out things on this to-do list, it's such a good feeling. And again, I highly suggest have a to-do list, write down things you need to get done on that day and do them. Tip number 2 is going to be for if you're creating a lot of content, let's say, and you have no idea exactly how you're going to be able to get it done, and that is to outsource. Now, what I mean by outsourcing is you recorded a lot of videos. I record a lot of videos between all my channels, and I actually send them to people to get edited. So that is something you can do. Or let's say you can have a thumbnail maker or a friend that maybe wants to help out. Or there's sites called like Fiverr where you can get things done because you don't have the time to do it. You pay a small amount of money. You can find who you want to create something and you get that done. I'll try to link it down below in the description as well. If you've never used Fiverr, it's a pretty cool site as well. So that's something to do. Outsource. That will also save you time because you don't have time to do it. I've saved so much time whenever I have someone edit a video for me or make a thumbnail for me. It literally saves me a lot of time, and then you can use that time to focus on something else. Tip number 3 is going to be focus on one thing. Now, I'm guilty of this as well. I have a list and I like to multitask. I like to do multiple things at once, but I feel like when you have multiple things to do, you're not giving it your all, your 100% or your undivided attention. So focus on one thing and give it your undivided attention, and then you'll be surprised on how efficient you become at actually knocking things out and getting them done. I find that to be very, very helpful for me. That's one thing I've started doing, is that instead of doing 5 things at once, it feels like you're doing a lot, but you're only given like 30%, 25% to each of these things, when you could just do one thing, finish it, and then move on to the next. So really remember that, guys, is to just focus on one thing, get it done, and then move on to the next. Tip number 4. Now, I don't know if you're gonna like this, but you gotta hear it, and that is wake up early, okay? That is something that I do a lot as well, and it's something that I find to be just crucial to my day, is waking up early. I have my best days when I wake up at, let's say, 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't need 10 hours of sleep. I don't really need 8 hours of sleep, although that is recommended, but I work and I am completely functional off 6 hours of sleep, 5.5 hours of sleep sometimes, but that 6 hours of sleep is pretty good. Now, I'm not saying, continue your day being sleep deprived. If you need sleep, then get sleep, but that also would play into what time you go to bed. I mean, I get a lot of people say, okay, how does he wake up so early? But I go to bed pretty early. I go to bed maybe 10 o'clock and wake up at 6, which is completely fine for me. Or, staying up all night, like going to bed, unless I have something really important to do, I'll stay up really late. And then I kind of get up a little bit later in the morning. But for the most part, most productive days come from me waking up very early. And of course, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. So it's just a matter of how you're using that time and where you feel like you can put that time in. If you can't wake up early, sometimes maybe you can put an hour in or 2 hours in later. But again, my top tip is to wake up early, even before the sun comes up, and start doing stuff. Tip number 5, which is going to be very important, especially to content creators who are sitting at their desk or trying to get things done, trying to be productive. Even again, this applies to anyone that's in school, in work, and that is to put your phone down. I've done that, and my productivity has skyrocketed. You know, I was at the desk, I was always, you know, working and working. Next thing you know, I'm looking on Twitter, I'm looking on Instagram, and it becomes such a habit that you don't even realize you're doing it. Have you ever just like mindlessly kind of just went on your phone, checked WhatsApp, checked Twitter, checked Instagram, just to be checking it? There's nothing that you're checking for, you're just on there. So again, put the phone down. I would suggest, if you're working or if you're doing something, just don't even have it near you. Of course, have it maybe on loud just in case of, you know, if there's an emergency or something, you don't want to miss it. But overall, you know, try not to check socials as much. You know, we live in a world now where social media is just so kind of in your face, and it becomes a big distraction. So if you're really trying to get better time management, I highly suggest putting the phone down, staying off socials, at least until you get things done. And that's where all these kind of tie into each other. You wake up early, you have this to-do list, you are also focusing on these tasks and knocking them out and not being distracted by being on your phone or on social media, which is just taking up your time, because you'd be surprised, you check one thing and next thing you know, you've been on Instagram or Twitter for like an hour, and that's an hour of productivity that you could have been using. So those are my 5 tips on better time management. Let me know if you guys want to see another part to this as well. I have some more tips and maybe some things in mind to help you out. And if you have any video suggestions, let me know down below in the comments. But I really hope you found this helpful. Hopefully you all have created a YouTube channel, you're working, trying to grow it, and we grow together too. So let me know how you're doing down below in the comments. I appreciate you all taking the time out of your day to watch today's video, and I really hope you found this video helpful. And if you did, feel free to leave a like and share it, and feel free to subscribe. And if you're new, and thank you all so much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.